It's official, like a referee with a whistle. So like and share this episode. So yeah, man, you got to talk about the mindset of some of these other groups of women. And they different. Sometimes it can be a little risky sometimes. Associating yourself with some of these women, in my opinion. Um, someone asked me this. I got an email, and someone was like, "Hey, what's the difference between, I guess, the American women, black women mainly, versus the black women from Nigeria, Sudan, Niger, Johannesburg, you know?" And then they say, "Hey, what want to come to certain Asian women? What's the difference? You know, um, Whether they're from China, Japan, Korea, Vietnam, Laos, India, etc. Right? There's a big difference for sure. You gotta realize, you gotta realize where a lot of these people are from. It's a very structured environment. That's the first thing you have to understand. Let's take let's take Asia. You pick any country over there. It's a very structured environment. That's the first thing you have to realize. Most of those countries, you can pick any country. China, Japan, Korea, you pick any Laos, you pick any of them countries. I've been to most of them countries over there on that continent. It's a very structured environment, and it's micromanaged. And it's very transactional. It's not really about how anybody feels. I'm talking about as a group, not as a single person. Yeah, you got individual relationships. People feel a certain type of way. Yeah, of course, right? And we know how that shit go. But that's a one-off. But I'm talking about as a group. Everything is very micromanaged and it's transactional. So if I'm coming in, if you do this, I'm supposed to do that. But that just because I say I'm going to do it, that don't necessarily mean I'm going to keep my word. See, that's another thing. See, that's where they coming from. The cutthroat, rip off, mentality. It's kind of like bait and switch, cutthroat, rip off mentality. That's where they coming from. That's these women that you're talking to, more than likely, whether it's online or offline or in America or in her country, regardless of what you might think about her, you might like her, but some of that shit is in her. It's in her. And it's been there ever since she was raised with those things, them qualities in her. But so for you to sit there and act like, oh, she She ain't never ripped nobody off or took advantage of nobody, or she's so kind and she's nice to me. Well, look, just because she's nice to you, that doesn't mean she's nice to everybody. That doesn't even mean everybody she has a relationship even get treated the same. I mean, just don't be naive. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, look, I'm gonna tell you a secret. I've been around some of the most racist people on the planet, and I've gotten treated well by them. And you want to know why they treated me well at the time? Because there's a certain level of respect there, and they understand that, hey, in order for us to be more productive and get things done, it's probably a good idea for us to put our feelings to the side and get along. They understand this. Racist white people, they understand this. This is not like a big breakthrough. No, they understand this. They can put their feelings to the side for a couple hours or a couple of days or however long the task may take. But just because this person treats me well or treats you well, that doesn't really mean anything. Because it's like you might get treated well, but the group of people that you're associated with might get treated horribly. So don't be naive. And see, this is another aspect. This is another aspect. A lot of people from that part of the world will get caught up in that. They'll be, oh, I'm getting treated well. They're nice people. Everybody ain't bad. They'll be, oh, I'm getting treated nice, right? But they'll see that the people in their village are getting treated badly, but they'll go along with it. And this is common. This is common, man. So this is where a lot of these people are coming from. That's the mentality that I'm talking about. And it's like, this is normal to them. And I don't hear anybody talk about it. This is like normal to them. It's like part of doing business. And another thing, where they from, white people are like gods to them. It's like they can see something going. It's kind of like living in America, and you probably heard stories like this. You know how they say in Hollywood. This is a good example. When they say some of these Hollywood actors are hard to deal with, you know what they really mean when they say that? When they say the Hollywood actors and actresses are hard to deal with, let's take Monique. Let's take Monique for example. When they say the Hollywood actresses or actors are hard to deal with, in most cases, what that means is this. You have people being mistreated on the set every day, right? And most of the entertainers will not say anything because they'll be like, hey, ain't got nothing to do with me, right? But if you're a person of just a little bit of morals and integrity, You're not gonna go for that. You're gonna say something about that. You're gonna be like, hey, you don't gotta talk to them like that. I know they're a personal assistant and everything, but hey, just relax. Right? Now see, a lot of these people on the sets, movie sets, they don't like that. They don't like when people speak up for other people or look out for other people. They just want you to go along. They just want you to mind your business. Stay out of it. And see, this is the same problem we have here in America. Because you have people that come over here from all over the place, all over the world at this point, right? And they'll see foul shit going on all the time. Police doing whatever in front of them. I'm not saying like they just hear about it on TV or whatever. No, I know people personally have told me they seen cops do foul shit to their peoples, right? And they didn't give a damn. You know, and whether they knew the person or didn't, it didn't matter because they still didn't give a damn. So see, in real life, you can't let that type of shit slide but so long. See, because some people have the mindset of, hey, he ain't got nothing to do with me, better him than me. Oh no, in real life, it don't work like that. At some point, you're going to be next. Yeah, you're going to be next. If you let shit slide in your neighborhood or slide in your household or slide on your job, if you sit and watch and laugh and giggle and make fun of people while they being mistreated, because you think that, hey, he ain't got nothing to do with me, better him than me or better her than me, that would never happen to me. See, that's the arrogance of you. That's you being naive. If one person or a group of people is being mistreated around you, you gonna be next. You better believe that. And see, that's the problem with living in North America. You have a bunch of people with that mentality. They come over here from these other places and they think, oh, it ain't got nothing to do with me. That ain't my fight. Oh, it's going to be your fight very soon. And when it happens, what you gonna do? And you know what they usually do? Lay down. They lay the hell down. Whether it's a man or a woman. They lay down. They do nothing about it in most cases. And I've seen this happen countless amounts of times. You know, and see, that's the mentality that I don't like being around women like that. I don't like being around a woman where the kid will come home from school and say, hey, the teacher violated me at school. The teacher cursed me out for no apparent reason. I mean, if you're being violated at school, there's no good reason to be violated. You know, but the kids will come home to the parents and be like, hey, the teacher did this, the teacher did that. Now the parents are scared to say anything to the teacher at school. They're actually scared. And you know what they do? They try to blame, they justify the bad behavior of the teacher at the school and try to blame it on the kids. But trust me, when a kid gets violated by a teacher, there is no justification for that. There is no justification for that. And this type of stuff happens all the time by a lot of these women. It happens that's why I always say a lot of these women should have never had kids because they don't really care about them. They don't really care about these kids like that. The kids are basically, school is like a daycare center for these women. It is, because people ask me about these other groups of women. I always say there's a lot of things that I dislike. I dislike more things about them than I like. Look, if you see a girl, let's take a girl that's from any country. She got big ass and tits. Yeah, she looked good. But when I start talking to her and getting to know her, I'm like, my goodness. I got to deal with all this shit just to be around her for long term. I just go back to America and deal with less headache. You got to deal with that old crazy ass family she got and all the craziness, dysfunctional, crazy. I'm like, man, hell with all that shit. It ain't no, I don't care how the woman looks. Going through all that, headache ain't never worth all that. The hell with all that shit. And then in some of these countries, if you want to be with the let's say you want to get married to her, you got to give the family money and all types of shit. I forgot what they call it. There's a phrase, there's a word for it. But basically, you got to give the family money and give them gifts as a form of appreciation for getting married to their daughter. I'm like, man, hell with all that shit. I was like, first off, I can't afford to be giving money to nobody else's family like that. I can't afford to be doing that shit. I'm in the military at the time. I'm like, oh, hell no. Yeah, you got it. Yeah, you got it. That's what it's called. Dowry. Yeah, that's what it's called. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm like, man, I can't afford to be doing that shit. that's the problem right there. Look, if y'all need some help every once in a while, I don't have a problem with that. As long as it's in a good reason and I can afford to do it. But for me to give you $50,000 and all this extra stuff, I can't afford to be doing that shit. Because another thing, living and like being born and raised in America, everybody thinks we're rich over here. Like everybody thinks we're rich in other countries. I'm like, no, I ain't rich. And another thing that I've learned, that U.S. passport is power. That's how they see it in these other countries. The U.S. passport is power. That's how they see it. And if you got a U.S. passport, especially if you born and raised over here, you're American. And you can't get away from that. See, a lot of guys don't like. That's always going to be the draw. That's the first. Look, you can meet a woman online, or I don't care what country she's from. But if you're from America and you tell her, I say, hey, where you from? She said, oh, I'm from the Philippines. Well, I'm from North America. Her eyes is going to light up. She going to feel a certain type of way inside about you being from America. And that's just how that is. And there's nothing you can do about that. That's always going to be the draw. The number one thing, I got an American black man. Boy, that means a lot to them. You just being American means a lot to them. Boy, that means a lot. Man, they'll roll out the red carpet for you. They're going to treat you different from the rest of those clowns she grew up around. Even her parents are going to treat you different. You going to get a different, man. If you was to say, let's say you was to fly over to where she lives, where she from, man, they'll meet you at the airport. Shit. As soon as you get through immigration, shit, they're gonna be standing right there. Somebody in her family gonna be right there waiting on you. You gonna get the royal treatment. You best believe that. Especially if she likes you. Shit. You ain't gonna have to ask for nothing. Whatever you want, you can have it. I'm not telling you what I think. I'm telling you what I know. This happened to me many times. And I ain't rich. Money ain't got nothing to do with it. You can be a rich fool and get all your money taken if you're overseas and you don't know what you're doing and the girl don't like you. Yeah, you're a rich fool. She never liked you in the first place. You should have been leading with money. So that's the mistake a lot of these rich dudes do. They make all the time. Yeah, I'm gonna put the link up here. Yeah, that a lot of rich dudes, or dudes that are well off, they make mistakes like that all the time. Sending the girl money through MoneyGram? Well, some other company now. Sending a girl 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000 to find a place for them to stay. I've heard all kinds of wild stories. Well, she's supposed to buy a condo for him or a house for them to live in. The damn girl took all the damn money and gave it to another dude. I mean, what type of why would you do something like that? Why would you send money to a woman to buy you a condo or a house? I mean, come on, man. I mean, what would make somebody? I mean, you might say, "Oh, he was desperate." Well, that's a little bit more than desperate. That's a little bit more than desperate, man. That's something else. I don't know what's up with that, man. That something like that never even crossed my mind. I never even crossed my mind to do nothing like that. Yeah, but click the link. I put the link in the chat. Maybe you had a different experience than mine. Or you might just disagree with everything I said. Because everyone has their own experience. When it comes to this, I've never had a bad experience, really, because I just know when I know how long to stay, and plus I never planned to live anywhere else. I never wanted to live anywhere else. I had a job and I lived in Japan for a couple of years, but it was what it was. Hey, how you doing?
Good evening, Sharp. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm pretty good, man.
I want to touch up on what you said about the passport, U.S. passport being gold. It's true. Even in like an industrial country like France, Germany, England, you got a U.S. passport, your accent, a lot of girls are drawn to you. But the thing about it, they're not drawn to you unless they really like you. A lot of times they're drawn to the image of the black man on TV, the hip hop, the swag. And if you don't portray that image in their mind that they see black men as, they think you're beneath them. They think it's like, oh, you're just too soft. You're not, being down, because they look at black men as like a mascot almost. And life is like this runway show where they have to show off who they are. And I noticed that, especially I'm gonna say this, when I've been to England plenty of times. I got an aunt that lives there. She said there's a certain type of white girl that wants to get pregnant by a black guy just to show off that she has a mixed child. It's like walking down a runway because it's a white country. So it's true they like you for your passport, but sometimes they're using you to portray an image that they want to create all the time.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of times they look at you like a fetish. And,
Yes.
And another thing I learned is they see us as exotic.
Yes. You're right, because I'm telling you, I dated Thai women, and I noticed the way us Westerns look at like Asian women as exotic.
Yeah.
They see us also as exotic. Is it true about the black man Mandingo? Is it this? You know what I mean? They are curious just as much as we are. So
Yeah.
you're right. They have that reverse exotic, image that they want to, I guess, fulfill.
Yeah. Yeah. When I found all this stuff out, I'm like, man, I ain't down with all that, man. I mean, it's in the beginning, it's kind of, it's, yeah, I guess it's like a short term thing or whatever, but long term, I'm like, I ain't down with all that. I'm out,
And I'll say this: if you go overseas and people see you, and let's say you're looking for a woman, fine. We're all looking for love. I don't care what anybody says. It's different
Yeah.
forms of it.
Yeah.
But if you keep going overseas, right, especially in a regular town, they see you. After a while, people will start to not respect you if they know you're just there sleeping with the women. Now, if you go there and you find a woman in that town, in that area, you take care of her, you leave, you bring her back, or you live there, you take care of her as a man, they'll respect you because it's love. But if they know that you're just there to sleep around with women, I'm telling you, they're gonna have this. Why can't he just sleep around in his own country? Why
Oh
does he
yeah.
have to come here? He's a loser of his people, and they'll see you as that.
Oh yeah. That they think you just another tourist.
Yes, you're just here to have fun because you can't get anything back home. They don't see you as somebody to be a friend, to get to know. You're less than them because they see it as, if I was in America, I would be doing everything possible to level myself up, to make my life better, go to school, the military. But you're just here going around trying to find pussy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's how I've experienced it or seen it. Not
Yeah.
myself, but
Yeah. That's how that's when things usually go left. When you hear stories of guys, getting got, that's when
yeah,
things go left.
yes,
Yeah.
and
Because
it's usually they lead them with their money.
yep. Yeah, it's because it's like I'd be like, because a lot of dudes, they go overseas, they start doing too much too. They buying one dude, man, he bought a condo and a suite for office suite the same month. I'm like, bro, you gotta slow down, bro. You ain't in America.
Because the money probably was double, and he was flossing. You know what I
Yeah, I
mean?
mean, like, bro. And then he was telling me what the woman said. Hey, bro, I don't care what that woman said. You gotta move different. bro, and you gotta use your own mind. Look, cause see, that woman she grew up with these dudes, you know, and at the end of the day, them dudes ain't gonna listen to her like that.
And a lot of times, a lot of them girls are groomed to, I would say, set you up. Her number one priority is her family. Period.
Yeah,
And they'll groom her. Yeah, get you a nice phone or whatever. Get money. Make them feel good. But in the back of her mind, she knows I'm just doing this to get my family up. I'm not here because I care about you.
exactly. It's family first for them.
Yeah,
Then you just a means to an end.
yeah. That's all that is. Now if you got the money now to bring over the family, that's on you. But more than likely, she just wants money to take care of her family. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like, I learned all of this stuff. I was like, man, and another thing about um being in a lot of these other countries, a lot of things are it's very transactional. It's
yes,
like, okay, you do this, I do that, and
yes.
that doesn't mean that they're gonna keep their side of the bargain either. They might do it or they might not.
It's like quick pro quo.
Yeah. So I'm like, man, shit, I'm out. I'm like,
They
look,
do
I
that
can't.
by like the prostitutes and the lady boys because they'll have an agreement, and then the guy will like, okay, we had an agreement this amount. Then they want more money. No, I'm
Oh
not giving
yeah,
you more. Then you end up getting the ass
yeah,
beat by a bunch of pimps because they want more money. Just give the extra 500, $100, or you know what I mean? But
yeah. And I had a similar like story like that in Thailand where it's like I thought the girl was a regular girl, and come to find out she was a prostitute. And I'm like, man, hey, how come you didn't tell me that when we was in the club, or when we left the club? You could. What's up with that? She's like, well, you got to pay me regardless. I'm like, what? So, so hey, so I ran up out of there.
Asian culture cutthroat.
Yeah, I ran up out of there, man, and I shouldn't have done that because my friends were still at the hotel room. What I should have done is just gave her
Still there, sir?
give her a little $40 and let her just kept it moving. But
Yeah.
back then I was the type, hey man, I don't like being played.
Yeah. You don't want to get somebody to get over you, but you live and learn, realizing you know what, it ain't even worth the fight. You got to pick your battle, son. You take
Yeah,
a loss.
yeah, because that same broad, she went and got some guys, and they came over to the hotel room and basically threatened my friends, right? And I found out about that, and I felt bad. You know what I'm saying?
And that's part of their life. That's how they get by. If you didn't give them that money, they're gonna threaten somebody to get that money. You know what I mean? It's part of the whole ploy. They had that set up. It's not just you; it's every foreigner that comes there.
Yeah, yeah.
It's how they live.
My friend ended up giving them $40, and I just gave him the money back. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you live and learn.
It's just the way life is, man, and just live, you learn to move forward. You can't just dwell on it because if you do, man, you're gonna be a sad person. I'm telling you.
Yeah, But see, like, and I've learned at that time that sometimes, especially being in the military, sometimes is what's behind you that women like, or just people in general might like more than you too. Sometimes you just being associated with a certain group or organization or institution, that means more to them than you.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
kind of
Because
like,
you fit an image for them.
yeah, you know. So yeah, when you like young, like you don't really understand that shit until you get older, and you meet so many different people along the way, and you be like, wait a minute. Bro, certain times it was so crazy. Man, we would show up. We didn't even have to talk, bro. We didn't have to talk. And the women was like, hey, we coming with y'all. I'm like, what the hell?
Because when you're young, man, you want to have fun. You want to get to know somebody new. You know what I mean? And that's all that
Yeah.
is. You want to go on an adventure.
Yeah. That's what
You
I was
all
like,
need
yo.
excitement.
And that's what I was like, yo, we like celebrities out here, bro.
Yeah. But that celebrity image will fade if they just see you here chasing women and not doing nothing else. Just look
Yeah.
just like you're wasting your
Yeah, for sure.
really you're getting nothing out of life. Chasing girls.
No, it's really a waste of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a waste of time. Yeah.
Now, if you found like I said, one girl, you build what are your state you make a life, and they see it, they will respect you because that's love. That's what I learned in this world. Everybody's looking for love, and when you find it, people respect you more because they're still looking for it.
Exactly. You know, exactly, man. Yeah, that's what it is, man. But you just gotta you have to really know who you dealing with. And a lot of
Yeah,
times when you're so young, you don't really understand. And the more life experience you have, the better, you know?
yeah, yeah. Because I hate to say this too. Like the one thing in life you cannot explain is loss. You have to experience it.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So when you lose a relationship, a friend, family member, you appreciate the ones that come into your life more. Hold on to
Yeah.
them, you know?
Yeah, for sure, man. Because I've lost a lot of people over the past 10 years. You know.
Yeah,
So yeah, that does it changes you. It changes how you see people, life, just in general. And
yeah,
you don't you appreciate time. I'm not saying I didn't appreciate time before, but it's kind of like you don't even I won't tolerate certain things the way I used to.
yeah. Correct.
Yeah. You know.
Because your own self worth goes up to realize this person is really a dead weight. They could bring
Yeah,
you down quick.
exactly. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I mean, what the hell are we doing? You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like if I give you an example. I was talking to somebody and they sent me a message, right? And they said, hey, maybe when you get off, we can talk, right? I said, all right, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? I'll let you know when I get off. So when I got off, uh, I said, hey, I'm off now. Hey, we can talk if you want. So she was like hesitant and said, oh, what you about to do? I'm waiting on my food, but I can talk now. So I guess she was doing something else or whatever, you know. Maybe somebody was around or she was talking to somebody else at the same time. So I'm like, hey man, it's a good night. You know, You know, it's kind of,
Just
now
that simple.
maybe when I was younger, I probably would have, I probably went into more details and all that. No, hell with all that. I mean, I just
Yeah.
cut it short. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of like,
Life is too short, man, to be dealing with bullshit. I had to learn this.
yeah. I mean, it's like, it's just a lot of stuff. Like I get okay, this is a good one, and this happened to me probably at least 3 or 4 times. Right, my nephew went to see a girl because he asked me, "Hey, if this ever happened to me?" Right? He's like 20, 26, right? He's like he went to see a girl, and he said before he went to see the girl, she was saying all the stuff that he wanted to hear on the phone, right? What's she gonna do to him when he get over here and all that stuff? I said, oh God. so he goes over there. I think she's staying like an hour away. And when he get there, of course he's staying. He planned to stay overnight, right? So he's he got his clothes and everything or whatever, and they started hugging and kissing and then he said she basically was like, "Oh, stop! I don't want to do it again." I'm like, "What?" So he asked me if that ever happened to me. I said, "Yeah, hell yeah, that should happen to me." You know, but I told him, I said, "Look, first off, a woman is not obligated to do anything with you. Let's get that out of the way, right? First thing.
Yep.
However, I ain't ever going back over there again. I'm never going back over there ever again. And I've never went back over to any of those women, them females' house ever again that did that to me, because that's kind of leading on. That's you telling me all this stuff and I'm getting all sucked up in it. The hell with all that. So stuff like that, I would not tolerate that today. I wouldn't even get caught up into what she's saying over the text or over the phone today.
Correct.
Yeah, that's an example of stuff that I wouldn't even tolerate. I wouldn't even get sucked up into it.
I had to learn a lot of times to get sucked up into it because you're still holding on to this fantasy about that woman. You
Yeah,
didn't see her for who she really is.
yeah, yeah. But when you're young, you just don't know.
Yeah.
You gotta go. You gotta go through that stuff.
Yeah. Especially if you don't have like the right mentorship,
Yeah,
you're gonna go through things twice as much as everybody else. Because there's
exactly,
nobody there to teach you a better way.
exactly. Yeah, man. So thanks for coming on, man.
No problem, Sharp. Thank you for taking my call. Take care.
All right, peace. Yep. So there you have it, man. It's just a different mindset. I remember my parents used to always tell me, you gotta watch the company that you keep. And you have to understand who you talking to. But this is why it takes time to get to know people. And never assume just because you talking to this person that they should be like you, or they should think like you, or they should see things like you. Never assume that, because I've made mistakes. I just assumed this person, this woman knew or understood where I was coming from. No, don't assume anything until y'all talked about it. That's, because see, some people will be like, oh man, she's an adult. She's supposed to know better. Not really. We have to be taught most things, or we're gonna have to learn the hard way. But in most cases, even women, they have to be taught certain things. You know, especially if she's an older woman. If she's an older woman, depending on how many guys she's been with, because what you like, them other guys might like, or vice versa. You know, and in most cases, if you're around an older woman, especially, she's basically doing what she think is the right thing to do based on the other guys she's been with in the past. You know, now if she's a younger woman, hopefully she's been with less guys than the older woman. You know, she might not know, because I mean, if she's in the 20s, there's a lot of things she's not going to know because she just hasn't lived long enough. You know, but I would say the older the woman is, it ain't but so much she wouldn't know. I'll say it ain't, you ain't gonna really come at her with something new that she ain't ever heard of, unless she been married for one guy for a long time, or maybe two guys for a long time. Because the reason why I say two guys, because there's some women that's probably got married early when she was 20. She probably with him for 15 years, first marriage, or 20 years. And then she probably got married in the 40s, and she's been with that guy for probably 20 years, or still with him. So that scenario happens. So unless she's been with two guys for a long period of time, okay, that's just different scenario. But if she's been with multiple guys, yeah, you know, you never know. You never know how that's gonna go. You know. But in my opinion, if you're a young man, you should stay away from older women. You know, it's just way too much baggage. You know, if with a lot of older women. And when I say older women, let's assume assume you're in the 20s. An older woman to you would be a woman that's 40 something. She got way too much baggage. She probably done ran. You ain't telling how many guys she done ran through. She never been married. So what you? She work in corporate America. So you think she's out here what doing what? She going to, you know, ain't no telling what type of activity she been in. She probably on narcotics. You never know. You know. But if me personally, I don't date. I mean, I still don't date older women. I would never do it. Even when I was even when I was younger. Now I knew older women. I might have hung out, I don't know, probably 2, 3 times with different women that were older, but I didn't spend a lot of time with them. And you know why? Because I knew it wasn't going to go anywhere long term. So it was like, you know, we might hang out one night or one weekend, and that's it. I didn't really call them. They called me. I didn't really call them. So I never gave older women a lot of my time. I would never do it. You know, I'm talking my personal time. Now, it's been times where I've done business with older women. Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. You know, but my personal time, no. Nah. This is an overnight thing or weekend thing at best. You know, it's just, you know, because I always look at it like this. I don't have kids. And she, more than likely, she already got kids And if she don't have kids, she can't have them. She ain't gonna have them. You know. So that's usually how I looked at it. You know. And there ain't nothing gonna be nothing long term. So and these rules apply to women worldwide. By the way, this ain't an American thing or no. This applies to older women worldwide. That's how I always looked at it. You know, that's usually how I operate. And you know. And when it comes to a lot of women from these African countries, it's some of these women are cool, but they're both very similar to the Asian women where they come from. But these groups of women take scamming to the next level. They take lying to the next level. I mean, bro, I've heard horror stories. It never happened to me because like I said, I know when to get the hell on. I know when to get out. I know when to jump off. I mean, I remember like I went to Thailand. I've been to Thailand, I don't know, probably 10 times. I had a girl in Thailand. I've never talked about this before. Maybe I did. I probably don't remember. But I used to have a girlfriend in Thailand while I was in the Navy. So I've been to Thailand probably like at least 10 times, probably more than that. And I remember I used to see this girl. She was a badass girl at the time. She looked like one of them video girls at the time. And every time we used to pool in Thailand, she was always there waiting on me. Because this is during a time where we used to send emails and I used to write letters. This is in the 90s, late 90s. I used to write her letters. And I used to send her a letter through the post, through the post office. I don't know what they call it. Yeah. I used to write her letters. It used to take probably a week for her to get the letter, right? So we did that probably for like 2 years at least. That's how we kept in contact. And then I used to call her every once in a while when I was not on the ship in Japan. So for 2 years, check this out. I found out she was married the whole time. I found out she was married the whole time. And they had an open marriage, basically. They had an open marriage. Basically, her husband would say, hey, you can date the American boy. Hopefully, there's some type of benefit that's going to come back to the family for his wife dating me at the time. I ain't never gave her no money or nothing like that. Because look, I ain't had no money to give. I couldn't afford to do that shit. But that didn't even cross my mind. But basically, that whole 2 years, we used to hang out. She used to show me around. I think she probably benefited from just being around me more than anything because I think I was something different, something new to do for her. I think she was kind of bored being married and just being around her family, doing the same old routine over and over again. That's what I think. So I think I think she got more out of the relationship than I did. And I didn't find out she was married until it was time for me to get out, basically. Because I told her, hey, I'm about to get out in 6 months. By the time you get this letter, I'm probably going to have less than 5 months at the time. Because at the time we was in the Persian Gulf. And mail usually takes longer to get to Thailand based on our location at the time. So by the time I found out she was, and I found, let me tell you how she kind of broke down and told me she was married. Yeah, she didn't like, I think it kind of slipped out over the telephone at the time. That's what happened with that. You know, but I was getting out anyway, so it's not like, to me, it wasn't like a big deal. I wasn't upset. I'm like, well, damn, well, the shit was real while it lasted. But I'm going back home to America. So, you know, she started crying on the phone and, you know, she wrote me the last letter, you know, basically saying it was glad to know you. Hopefully, we can see each other again. But when I was, you know, I knew that probably wasn't going to happen, you know, because I didn't even know if I would ever even travel on that side of the world ever again. So I wouldn't really, I was just thinking about, hey, what I'm going to do when I get out. I'm trying to make plans where I'm going to go, you know, because I didn't want to go back to my parents' house and live there. I didn't want to do that. So that's how that went down. So yeah, I had a girlfriend in Thailand. She was a bad chick, boy. Yeah, he was bad, boy. And I didn't, and I wish I would have I didn't take a lot of pictures back then. Yeah. I wish I would have, but she was bad, boy. Yeah, she was bad. She's the reason why she's probably the main reason why I like Thailand still to this day. Because I think she showed me a side of Thailand that probably most tourists won't see. You know, because we were like away from the tourist spots. And we got in her, because she had a car. We got in her car, and we were like, we was in areas of Thailand where it's like I've never been since I got out, you know. So it's a different type of vibe based on where she took me at, you know. Sometimes I wonder what people like her are doing. People that I met back in the day, I always wonder what they're doing today. You know, are they okay? Or are they still living? Boy, are they still living? Because there's some people I've known from back in the day, they passed away. They passed away, and they were people that were younger than me. So just because you're not old, you could pass. Man, that age ain't got nothing to do with it today. People pass away young and old today. People that I've known for a long time. So hey, sometimes I wonder. Yeah, sometimes I wonder. You know, hopefully everybody's all right. They still living well, still prosperous. You know, they have some of them have gotten married. I've heard through mutual friends or whatever. But hey, you know, I wish everybody the best. You know, I don't have no hate in my blood. You know, regardless of what happened with us, between us, I wish everybody the best, you know. And that's it. So like, share this episode. Tell me what you think below. If you listen to the playback, if you appreciated what you heard tonight, hit the Cash App. I'm out.
Alright. Just got the call, it's going down tonight. It's a lot of goodbyes here tonight. But then I saw the sky and that I like.